You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Hudland.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 379 on this second day of October 2024. How's everyone out there doing? I hope you're doing well. The group of us, we're doing fine. But let's get to introductions. We have Mr. Casey Green joining us from the Mid-Atlantic. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. Definitely fortunate compared to some of our neighbors. And, you know, if you got something you can do to help them out, do it. And we haven't heard all of it yet. They're just getting Starlink out to the area. The cell phones are down. 911, actually 911 is down here too, but 911 is down there for another reason. And I had an adventure. I went to swap my car out of service right the day that it landfell, and probably wasn't the smartest decision, but I didn't think it would get that bad that fast. And I must say that FSD has come a long way from the time that it accidentally ran across a puddle hydroplaned on the highway and then freaked out. This one was like driving. It was keeping the speeds down, and then if the visibility got tough, it would bring it down some more. And then sometimes, like, it would follow a truck too close and get the wash up in the cameras. Yeah. And it was like, oh, you got it. Other times, it would lower the speed because of the wash and keep it low for too long, which was a little annoying. But I was impressed with the way that both cars handled it. I ended up getting FSD 12.5. something, and then they rolled it back to 12.3.6.
Oh wow!
And then I got 12. Then I got 12.5.1.2 the night I picked it up, and then when I parked it in the driveway to get Wi-Fi again, it downloaded 12.5.4, which is really nice. And I got to try out actually Smart Summon. Brian and I had a chance to try out some more. The first one, as I mentioned, was a disaster, and the second one, it was better than the old Smart Summon, but it also, because it was better, we wouldn't go into the loading zone because it was hashed out like a gore mark on the highway. And thankfully the store was closed, so it being parked in the middle of the main drag was not an issue, but it could have been. So I see that there are some differences, but again, I don't see, other than the people who've been waiting for years to get it, I don't see what's so special about it. Sorry if you like it, but we also learned that us legacy might get it before the end of the year, and this is not an Elon timeline. This is the same folks who told us that this will be done in September, and at the final hour we got Cybertruck FSD. Woo!
Yeah, right under the wire, it was released.
Yeah, like 15 minutes to go. Cybertruck.
I'm glad to hear that you got home safely in the midst of that hurricane, and certainly our heart goes out to those who have been affected, and hopefully you can get the help you need and get back on your feet quickly. But it's certainly been a huge weather story over the past couple days, and a lot of people have been affected in the North Carolina, Tennessee area. It's certainly been bad.
On that, if you have Starlink hardware or if it's available to you, Starlink is doing a 30-day grace. So if you're already a customer, you have to write support and tell them you're in the area. They'll look at your dish, they'll give it to you. If you are somebody like who's got a deactivated dish or you've got a new dish in good standing, so you can't have been cut off for non-payment, or it can't have been flagged as stolen, but you can go in and activate as a new customer, and then you get 30 days for free, and they give you a warning before it starts to turn into a Starlink residential plan. And the swath on that's even wider than the areas that were actually just devastated. So like this area, it was hit, and we lost power for a while, and there were trees down, there were tornadoes, but not to say that everyone around here needs that, but it's appreciated. Especially in the places we see in the videos and photos coming out of the heart of the path.
Understood. Also with us, as per usual, Mr. Patrick Connor joins us from the West Coast. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Hello, Tesla Nation, and welcome to October. Welcome to the show where we discuss our electrified future. We've got just 8 days till the Robotaxi Cybercab event, whatever you want to call it. And you know we're going to be covering that here. So come join us if you want to watch together. Today, we're going to talk about Tesla's Q3 results, a Semi with some suspicious add-ons, the rock and roll diner progress, a new VPP program, and more.
Well, with that, Patrick, you can start with the first story.
Okay.
Which, of course, is the numbers.
That's right. So Tesla reported their Q3 results today. And from their official X account, they posted, in the third quarter, we produced approximately 470,000 vehicles, delivered approximately 463,000 vehicles, and deployed 6.9 gigawatt hours of energy storage products. So this was not a record quarter, but it was a good quarter. The vehicle deliveries were over the Wall Street consensus of 462,000, and deliveries were 6% better than Q3 of last year, 9% better than the previous quarter. According to Dan Ives from Wedbush, Tesla is on track to deliver over 1.8 million vehicles this year, which will be very close to last year's total. And considering how bad the first half of this year was, even tying last year's results will be an impressive feat. So Musk has said that Tesla's between two growth waves. So flat was not a surprise if it ends up flat for the year. However, I do want to point out that for the energy division, 6.9 gigawatt hours of deployment makes this their second strongest quarter ever. And with their best quarter just being Q2 of this year. So that means that 2024 is already a record energy storage year before Q4 is even on the books. So for those of you who are out there that are playing along with our home game of guess Tesla's annual production, if you guessed over 2 million like I did, you're going to have to wait another year for that one to be a possibility. There you go. Some good stuff.
Exactly. It's been a heck of a year, heck of a quarter, as we have been pushing along here a little bit with, of course, the higher interest rates and stuff. We've been under the bar for a little while. But it looks like we're starting maybe to shake that off a little bit and start to get back to normal highs.
Yeah, some incentives in China definitely helped.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and Tesla's smart financing, offering the 0.9 and 1.99, I think that helped also because, like you said, Mark, interest rates were a big issue. Yeah. I'm sorry, Casey.
Yeah. They're also ready for. It's okay. They're also ready for Q4. They've already started with pretty much the same program. I'm sure there's differences between last month in China, and not that any of us here are there. But here in the States, Model Y has already started to get a little bit of help. So if you were in for Model Y and you missed it, don't think that you're out of the game yet.
Casey, I'm going to let you go to the next story, which is about the Semi. I've just got to attend to something. I'll be right back.
Okay. On this previous one, I had a question from X. They're asking, why do you care what the analysts think?
So analysts post their numbers. There's usually some general consensus, and a lot of people who don't spend the time to write their own spreadsheets and make their own models use that as an estimate of whether the company is growing or shrinking. And the market is always looking forward, sometimes intraday, but often just 2 or 3 quarters ahead. They don't take a long-term 5-year view unless, Kathy Woods and some others do. But so that's how stocks are often priced, is based on analyst estimates. So there's a lot of that is taken into account in what they think is going to happen over the near term. And stock prices are never actually what the company's worth. It's what people think it will be worth at some future point.
Yeah. So their follow-up question was, why is this particular quarter different when they were using about half of the sources they typically do before reporting this from the larger works.
What do you mean half the sources?
Like there were allegations of like only 10 or 20 analysts instead of the full panel that they typically would touch on.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure who determines which ones are worthy of. I mean, if you look at consensus, it's really there's a lot of different people aggregating it, and you'll see sometimes some new firm has initiated coverage, and so now they'll be included in their consensus going forward if they're a big enough brokerage house. So it's yeah, everybody can kind of pick and choose who they trust. Yeah,
certainly. All right, so Mark had let us in with the Tesla-Semi, so I'm getting something on the screen here, so I can see if I can't get it on your guys' screen there. And the Tesla-Semi was spotted wearing a special hat again. And I wonder why I call that. The low boy fairing and the high fairing are both removable, and then when you do that, they can also mount a LiDAR rig to the vehicle, and that looks like this. Unless Mark has a better picture, I've got one from the article. Let's share screen. Now, bada boom.
Okay. Here it comes.
There we go.
Oh, yep. Casey's got it.
Okay, Mark's gonna give us a better one.
Nope, that looks good.
Okay.
So you've got the little hat on the front center of the screen, or a windscreen.
And we've seen Tesla using LiDAR in the past to not because that's what they want as their solution, but you want to calibrate your AI to your cameras, and you need ground truth to do that. Whenever you have training models, you need to be able to tell the model whether or not it got an inference right. And so you use this kind of thing to collect that data. You don't need a lot of miles with it. So it's not surprising that they're doing this.
And I saw people speculating that, oh, it's demonstrating auto drive or autopilot or full self-driving. We don't know that. You can manually drive it and then still compare what both systems are reading you. And in fact, you probably want to start that way, because if you just on a system that's never driven itself in public, it could be a mess. So you're going to drive it manually, most likely the first couple times. Make sure that it matches up. Look at shadow mode, or even do what Uber did and disconnect, not the safety system, but disconnect the autopilot system. Watch what it actually tries to do to the truck, and then the next time you plug it in. And
yeah,
whether or not it was.
Tesla's been pretty quiet about FSD on Semi, and I think that was smart.
Yes,
because they want the industry to embrace it, and if drivers think, "Oh, this is going to be what replaces me," that it's not going to be very well liked by that community. So I don't think you go forward with or lead with that in any way. Doesn't mean you're not working on it in the background, and it might be something that you're thinking about for 2035 or some other time frame.
Right.
Which is what I think they're doing here.
But also, you want to make sure that it actually works the first time a professional gets behind the wheel with it. Because if it does what some of these folks got on the trial, and either is unimpressive or scares the crap out of them, they'll never use it again. They're out there to make money, and if they think it's going to risk their livelihood, they're not going to give it a second chance. And we did see the fire in California, where yes, that might have been point to have at least the safety features turned on, even if you're not going to let it do the rest of the stuff. But that's kind of like a hindsight situation, and thankfully the driver is okay, and so it didn't end up as bad as it could have. But the important thing isn't that we see whether it's driving itself or they're measuring or whatever. The fact is that they're out there doing it, because their whole argument why the Cybertruck didn't get as long as, there's not enough of them to make it worth the input right now. And now that the Cybertruck has FSD, and we see them out testing or calibrating or whatever they're doing with the semi-truck, it could be imminent, or they could be collecting data.
One of the things you mentioned there that I think could really be a possibility is that a lot of Tesla's safety systems use the same models, right? So they need to understand the environment around them, determine where the lane is, determine if you're going out of the lane, if that's causing a dangerous situation. Should they do emergency braking? So I think a lot of those same systems still apply, whether or not they're doing FSD. It could just be for safety systems for the semi.
Yeah, it could also be the safety systems because, of course, the truck is a different physical model than any of the cars. It's certainly higher off the ground. It's a bigger unit. It's typically hauling a trailer. All those things have to be thought about when changing lanes, when understanding whether the vehicle's in its lane or is drifting out of it. And having those new types of model designs are going to be really required when it comes to a vehicle that's so much larger than any other Tesla vehicle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The other cool thing about doing it this way is that as you add in more models, with this being pretty much as big as you can go a little bit bigger. Something Elon said about just getting compatible cameras and will become closer to reality at that point. He does like to proclaim things that take time to actually do. And this is a step in that direction, because now if another truck maker puts it on there, as long as they have the same amount of cameras, or at least full coverage, it's going to be quicker to integrate than this one was. And same for now that you've got Cybertruck, Model 3, anything in between those is going to be easy enough to deal with if the cameras are right. Smaller might be a little bit difficult. Yeah.
It would stop overfitting for the that's interesting. I never even thought about them licensing FSD to another semi maker. I mean, we've talked about them licensing it to Ford or whoever, but I haven't thought about, well, would Daimler ever get it, or I don't know, Peterbilt or whoever else.
Yeah,
because a lot of these larger trucking companies are not the truck manufacturers, I should say, are owned or conglomerates with an automaker, so they could pool their purchasing power, and instead of buying 300,000 FSD kits, they could buy 1 million FSD kits and bring the cost down for everyone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so the Tesla AI team was also responding to some of these posts and just giving us coy little answers about how the best is yet to come, and just generalities, nothing really specific. Which, of course, glad they didn't, because they'd be fired by now. But wait, there's more.
That's funny.
Yeah, keep general if you're working for Tesla, that's for sure. But
what's kind of interesting with this particular one is since you're center drive, you also have the same point of view as the FSD does, whereas on every other Tesla, you're either offset to the left, or offset to the right from what the car is perceiving the world through.
Yeah. Very good, very good. Quick shout out to the chat room. Lee Moon was in there first. We got Lourdes Silva. We've got Derek. We've got JT24 joining us. Hello to everyone. Thanks for being there.
Yeah.
Next, did you guys already talk about a different topic, or was that?
No.
Okay.
We covered the numbers a little more while we were.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Connected to those numbers in a little bit of a way is, of course, what has happened with Chinese tariffs arriving in North America. October the 1st was the deadline. And I know that in Canada, I was watching the price sheet closely. And what happened? Absolutely nothing. It just continued on. The prices remain the same. There's been no change. But in the US, as of today or last night, the Model 3 LFP battery disappeared from the sales, just wiped out. It's no longer there. But of course, don't fret, because you do have the rear-wheel drive Model 3 with the Panasonic batteries and a slightly faster pickup time, and also does qualify for the federal incentive. So it's and you get another 90 miles or so. So yeah, it's I can understand why the LFP was removed, because of course it's not going to be able to get the federal incentive. It's going to price it higher. And why would somebody be buying a vehicle for a higher price if you could get a little bit better of a package for a lower price? So not a big surprise that they took the LFP off menu.
Yeah, that car had a 1, 2, 3 punch against it, because already, even before the tariffs, you had the Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive within spitting distance of it. And then October 1st comes in, and not only does the long-range rear-wheel drive have the incentive on it, this one now has, not only does it not have an incentive on it, now it has a tariff on top of that. So it would, you would have to really want an LFP, or like really want to right-size your range to spend more on this particular vehicle.
Yeah. Are there any LFPs being produced in the US yet?
Yes. Made in the US? I don't know, but the Powerwall 3s are LFPs.
Right, but I don't know if the cells are being made.
Right, the cells have not been identified that they are being made in the US.
Right. There have been some groundbreakings for factories to make LFPs, but I don't think any of them are online yet.
And then Tesla also bought all that equipment from Cattle.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if it's arrived yet. Yeah,
we don't know if that's necessarily in production either. Like that might have been a longer planned solution. It may be all part of it, right? If again, Tesla is using any battery they can basically use and to benefit the customer with those federal credits. So there seemed to do a lot of robbing Peter to pay Paul, just so a number of them can go out the door and then they're back again doing something else. So this may be part of the solution. And as maybe the Cattle equipment gets up and running, which then would qualify as American-made batteries, maybe they'll switch back to it. Who knows? It's something that Tesla, of course, is trying to balance the number of battery packs versus sales versus federal incentives that match with them.
Right. That's exactly what was going to be my point, is that if you really, really wanted LFP, well, you might get another chance. But it's what we always say here, right? If you see what you want, grab it, because tomorrow it could be gone.
Yeah, and there's certainly what happened last night is proof of that. Like something just disappeared completely off the menu list and is no longer there. And I look for that in Canada as well. We don't have that same $7,500 credit that's limited to certain manufacturers or where the items are produced. But here as well, if we are importing from China, which we currently are doing, Tesla is shipping some of that supply from Giga Shanghai here. If the price, the tariff kicked in yesterday, so guess what? Tesla's not making as much profit on those cars because of the tariff being applied to them, and they're not raising the price. So obviously they're taking the hit on these vehicles as they're being sold today. So
your guys' was the same day as ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I certainly can see that there's a shifting playing field here, and Tesla's trying to maximize their best play, and I think that's going to cause other things to change as we move along here in the days and weeks going forward.
Well, certainly, yeah. Oh, so I was a prime example of this philosophy of ours. If you see it, get it. If you like it, if you can make it. I was getting my pennies together on the Model S40, and the last paycheck where I had everything ready to go to put my order fee in, Elon's like, nobody's ordering the S40. It's gone.
What, you didn't let him know through a note, Casey, that you were about to pull the trigger so he could hold on a little bit longer?
I was, but I don't know if he was.
For the people that had ordered the 40, it turned out to be a great deal, though, because that was the first time that Tesla did software locking, and they've used that multiple times since then.
Yeah, if he'd waited four more days, I would have been one of them. So my first Model S wouldn't have been brown.
Can't get that color anymore.
Oh, that was a different brown than my brown. That one went away first. That one I called it milk chocolate, but some other folks called it Louis Vuitton.
Oh, okay.
Louis Vuitton. Next, let's move on to West Hollywood. And
I love that photo
with
the Is
Casey,
that,
were you handling this story, or did you want me to?
No, you said West Hollywood. I said born and raised. I said, oh, that's Philadelphia.
This one's all you, Mark.
Then what we've got here is, of course, this is the rendering that we're seeing here in the Tesla-Rade article at the top here. But as we move down, we can see some of the progress. And of course, what we see here are some V4 pedestals being installed at the diner. Or from this shot, it looks kind of like a spaceship.
It sure does. Yeah, I said photo above. I meant image, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's they're starting to do the installation of some of the superchargers, and this is exciting. You can also see that the grading is starting to go ahead, and we should be getting ready for some sort of a concrete pour coming up as well. So this is certainly some moving along in the construction here.
There's another questions asking if this was a V3.5 or if it was a true V4. All answered to walls of silence from Tesla.
Yeah, it would make sense that this flagship location maybe moves to the V4 or has the ability to move to the V4 easily in the future. I got to believe that is in the thoughts as they put this together.
You said flagship, and I'm looking at this picture here, and there's a flag and then a
ship. So yeah, it's it is something really. that is.
Also,
go ahead, Casey.
From the air, looking down on this building, it looks exactly like the Tesla map pin. Like if you poke at the map, zoom way in on the pin.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that's intentional.
I think it is because it's the exact same shape as the Tesla pin on the map.
Kind of cool. Like that teardrop shape. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you get the different layers of the elevations, it looks like the whole. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with this photo, you can see the layout of the restaurant, the stalls that we just showed a picture of that they're starting to be installed with the concrete apron. And then, of course, there is 2 large screens on the outsides of the actual restaurant property. And then down in this corner, there is going to be a walkway into an adjacent parking lot for more parking.
I'm still not seeing how this works. I mean, I know that he was talking about abbreviated short clips or something to that effect, but after driving that Model 3, I understood finally now why. Like you'll come in a legacy car and you'll be there for about 30 minutes and you watch all these new cars come and go in like 3 to 6 minutes, like just a little splash and go. And
yeah,
they charge a lot faster now. So how short are these movies going to be?
Probably pretty short. Another bit of information here is in this photo, you can see this panel hanging down.
Mm-hmm.
These are translucent plastic pieces that circle the bottom of the restaurant, and I think there's some additional up top. And behind these panels is a wall, basically, of LEDs.
Wow!
So it's going to be a bit of a light show at the restaurant as well, which is no surprise because of the chrome on the outside. You can definitely see how we're going to get this reflection going on, and it's probably going to be quite spectacular.
I bet those people who are behind the movie screen at the apartment now are really going to appreciate it.
Yeah, they'll probably be looking to move out real quick.
Well, I mean, first you had a giant movie screen coming up, and now the movie screen is blocking the UFO with the strobe lights.
It is.
I don't like LEDs at all. No. I'm definitely going to have to take a road trip when this opens.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's gonna be spectacular. There's also strips, these two chrome strips here, and the two up top. Apparently, they're peppered with LEDs as well. So it's going to be quite the show once they get it going.
Oh, do you think they will
really
coordinate it with music like they do the song and dance in the cars?
I was about to suggest that. I was going to say, like, really cool if on like special events where if you're just there and you put your car into the mode, they say, all right, everybody get ready for 15 minutes, and then your car will join in with the building and all the other cars.
Oh,
like you download the program without being able to do the USB stick thing.
Awesome.
The program to your car. Yes. Yeah.
This is an awesome idea.
And don't forget, they're probably going to pipe in the music and audio for the actual theater. Like the short show is probably going to be piped right into your car through some connection, Wi-Fi or something else. That's going to push it right into your car, and you'll be able to use your great sound system to listen to the movie clips.
And your screen to make the orders for your food.
That's right. Yeah. So this is going to be a definite, if you're in the area, certainly, or as Patrick said, you might just make a pilgrimage to get there to check it out in the future.
Yeah, that diner ordering system and the piping in the audio and such, I think that's going to lead into what you were talking about with the app model later on. That might be our first, that they'll download it, try it out, and then tweak it, and then they can go ahead and do their API and their store.
Here's a question for you two. What do you think that any of the chargers at this location will be for other non-Tesla vehicles?
Yeah. Maybe not right up front, but yeah.
I don't know. So this is Tesla's premier site. I would think they would want it populated by Teslas. I know they say they don't want to do a walled garden, but they're not making every supercharger available to third-party cars.
Correct.
So there's not a lot of spots there compared to how many people I think would want to use it. So maybe in that other parking lot you said is off to the side, that's where the CCS will be.
Well, not just CCS, the adapter folks and the native NACS, non-Teslas. Because if you do that, and they see what fun you have at the stations that are not showing up in their maps, even though this one does, that's a chance to get Conquest sales. And if they think
call me a snob, but I wanted these just for us.
Yeah, they'll have the nosebleed seats way out in the other corner. I mean, because if they think that not having live sentry view is enough to make me buy a new car, how about watching all these people actually have fun while you're on a road trip? That would make me buy. If I was
because they couldn't do the stuff we were just talking about with non-Teslas. They couldn't pipe the sound in for the movies. They couldn't order off of their screen for the menu. If they did something cool where it had a coordinated light show, they couldn't do that. So that's my hope, at least, is that they do this cool stuff.
It would make sense, certainly, and they, like I said, they do have another parking lot, so it's not like they're shunning them, but they, they can still join in and have some fun with it. But being pushed along, it just makes sense to be just a little bit arm's reach. But as Casey had said, being able to watch the fun and participate in the restaurant and watch the screens and watch the coordinated flashing of the vehicles with the outside of the restaurant. Yeah, that could be a conquest sale. Definitely, I could see that.
And they might not even open any of them up at first, but do remember all these V4s have magic docks in them, at least so far.
True. Yeah. Thanks to the guys in the audience here. I don't feel so bad that they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I'm with Patrick. I like it. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, JT. Yeah. Cool.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's great. Next, let's talk a little bit about Giga Shanghai. Casey's got a news story for us.
Yes. Where was I with that one? Back to the article real quick.
How do we get the Tesla Life to broadcast at the diner? That would be cool.
Yeah. Giga Shanghai has exported their 1 millionth vehicle from Giga Shanghai. They had a. Do you have a picture of that there, Mark?
I do.
All right, they had
shared.
pretty, it was a cool picture, but it was much less pizzazz than they usually use. They lined up the cars to the shape of 1M, and I'm guessing a flag of some sort.
Yeah, it was a square, and I wasn't sure what. To be honest with you, I was not sure what that square meant.
Right, it didn't look like a Chinese flag. It didn't. They definitely wouldn't put a Taiwanese or Hong Kong flag up there.
Right.
Unless it was local. Is it? Do they have a local flags there, like other places do?
Yeah, because it is mixed in with color, right? You've got solid white basically around the outside with some white cars in the middle, and then you've got reds, maybe blues or blacks. But I don't recognize it.
There. What, is it like the character for 1 million?
Maybe that's maybe the white is the character.
Oh, that could be.
But and again, I don't read Chinese, so I'm not surprised. But this is 1M, obviously 1 million. But the flag, does Giga Shanghai have its own flag? Maybe. Not sure.
Maybe. I'm still wondering.
Well, I would think the other plants don't have their own flags, so I doubt that's
right. Nor did the service centers.
I doubt it's a plant flag.
Right. Interesting.
But 1 million in what? 4 years?
Yeah.
It's been about 4 years since Giga Shanghai turned from basically a watermelon field to one of the highest production factories in the world for automobiles.
Yeah.
And a story that was connected to this too was about Australia, which I found kind of interesting. That they've taken in over 100,000 of this million vehicles imported from Giga Shanghai. So just the country of Australia has taken in like 107,000 of the vehicles of the 1 million that Shanghai has made.
Asks if it's a 2D barcode, like a QR. Maybe. I think this might be something we see later as a Easter egg.
I tried doing Google image search, and it just found other pictures of Teslas coordinated, like when they did the Texas flag and similar ones. So it's not able to decode it as something. Right. I was hoping.
Wanted to use more cars than that to do it.
Yeah, I was hoping AI would be smarter than us, but nope.
I'm wondering if it's something local and like the Chinese would know exactly what that is.
Right. If you know, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Giga Shanghai has been a pivotal, certainly a pivotal factory for Tesla. If not, certainly it produces the most out of any factory. And of course, the speed of which it was built surprised many at the beginning. In fact, so much so that there were calls from Tesla bears stating how that this was all fake and that this was the opening ceremony in a field. It was only going to be field. It would never change that rapidly. And well, they're all wrong. They were certainly wrong from the beginning and continue to be wrong because this factory has outperformed anyone's expectations, including anyone in the automobile sector, as they looked at how quickly it got up and running to maximum capacity and then added to it across the street or across the block as they added more and more lines to it. So congratulations to them because
almost done.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. So again, that's another investment in the Shanghai area. And then the other big factor here was that, of course, Tesla, with its ability to pull in parts from locals, was able to reduce the international parts coming into this car to local parts, and of course shortened up the supply chains, which allowed them to produce even more efficiently and push this car out. And of course, with the amount of exports that it's done to Europe, to Australia, to New Zealand, to other places, it's certainly proven to Canada. It's certainly proven its worth, and it's a testament to the employees that work there and how they can build cars efficiently and in a quality manner.
Very cool.
So congratulations, Giga Shanghai, for sure. 1 million is a significant export number.
Yeah. Do any of you in the chat have a made in China Tesla? Because like Mark said, they've shipped them all around the world. So there's a good chance we've got a few viewers with a MiC made in China.
The Mick.
A MiC Tesla.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them get a semi factory or a cell plant either.
Exactly. Now, Casey alluded to this too in this story, was that, of course, the Powerwall factory, I'm not wall, but mega factory is being built there. Patrick's got our next story, and it focuses in on the Powerwall.
That is right. Okay. So we love Powerwalls here on the Tesla Life. One of the many great things about a Powerwall is that in some regions, you can join a VPP or a virtual power plant, and you can get paid to share your energy with the grid when it needs it most. Well, if you are a customer in the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power District, you can now join a VPP. And this is a Tesla-administered VPP, and they estimate that you can earn up to $350 per Powerwall per year. So that's a great deal for you. It's a win-win. You get paid. The utility does not have to turn on their polluter peaker plants. Those are their last resort. So you're literally making the air in your region cleaner while you're getting paid. What's not to love about that? So San Diego Gas and Electric have had this, as well as the Bay Area's Pacific Gas and Electric have both had Tesla VPPs for a couple of years now. They've got thousands of people in the system, and it's really working well. Powerwalls are small compared to something like a Megapack, but if you gang enough of them together, they can really add up and make a difference. So if you are in that area in LA, please check it out.
They don't take up any floor space.
Yeah, if you didn't have one already, I was pitching to people that have one to join, but you make a good point that, if you were thinking about it and you're like, now if you can get paid for it, that helps. That might be the decision maker there.
Yeah. In the US, what's a Powerwall 3 going for roughly?
A lot. What? You also get
I don't know. Is it 8 or 10,000?
No, it's more.
Okay.
It's got a teen in the name for price. But the Powerwall 3 is much more capable than even Patrick's Powerwall 2s.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the incentive on it, as well as the peace of mind that comes with it. So it depending on what you're working with, it'll pay itself off really fast, or if you're not worried about paying it off, you can look at the just comfort. Like I said,
yes.
Hurricane came through this area, and we lost the air conditioner, but everything else in the house keeps running except the baby's room, and just because we were out of circuits.
The baby doesn't need air conditioning.
Well, air conditioning for everybody, but the baby's room entirely. So either she needs a big sleep, or she can come to another room. But
I'm just kidding.
That's just something else. And so that peace of mind and comfort. Had a neighbor around here who was running a generator for about from sunrise till definitely at least lunchtime. And
the Powerwall 3 is the new model's priced at about $6,000.
Oh, they came down then, or is that with the incentive?
That is no incentive.
To do with savings.
Yeah.
Nice.
So a $6,000 investment and you're going to get about what a little bit more than 5% a year back.
Right,
Based on the calculations of $350 a year in rebates or paybacks to the user.
Right, and that was just VPP directly. So the way that I use mine is for power time shifting every day.
Yep.
So I take the electricity that I get from the solar panels at noon, and I use it between like 3 and 8 o'clock when the electricity is the most expensive. So even that saves me a little bit of money every day. And the VPP events are even better.
The Tesla Texas team, they not Tesla Texas, but Tesla Energy in Texas. They're a power company. They're a proper power company. They recently shared how much some of their customers were making back from Tesla using AutoBidder and their other tech to just resell those folks solar and extra battery capacity and buy low, sell high arbitrage. And it was at least the same, like $300. A couple of the ones they shared were like $500 and $600 negative power bills. Not bad.
Yeah. Talk about celebrating if your power bill came in and it was negative $600. That would be
this is a check.
Man, exactly. You'd be running to the bank to get that thing cashed. That's like, wow, look at that. Or I guess in this day and age, you just take a picture of it with your phone and deposit it.
Well, yeah.
So with my utility, they don't actually pay you; they give you credit. And so it's like, okay, well, when I owe you, I have to pay immediately. But when you owe me, you're like, oh no, it's just a credit. You can sit there and you can use it in December. Okay, I see how you are. But still, I have a negative electricity bill.
Definitely a two-tier system in that case.
Yes. Also, while we're talking about all of this, for those of you that are on a net metering plan, a lot of them were set to renegotiate, reschedule, reset in 2025. So be mindful that your situation, if you're on an older plan like me, will change, and be ready for it.
Yeah, we're planning on moving in a couple years, and the plan that we're on now, you cannot enroll in. So I will be going to a plan that's not quite as good. I'll still get to do the VPP stuff, but for the net metering, it won't be as nice as it is now.
Question for you, Patrick: if you were to sell your house and the power walls that are contained within it to somebody else new, would they be still enrolled in that program, or would they have to re-enroll?
That is a good question.
So I can answer it on the rental side. If you rent it and carry the bill for your tenant, then that part will stay in place.
Right.
Yeah. But if you actually sold it, you sell a house with solar roof panels, a lot of the agreements, the power share agreements for those solar units will go with the new owner. They just transfer over.
Where you are.
Right.
Yeah. Some places go. I think this place would wipe it out completely, which is why I never let them change the name of the power bill.
Right. If I can keep it and make that a benefit to the new buyer, I would definitely do that. I will check into that.
Yeah. And then, of course, you had, moving the power walls certainly can be done, but it's a bit of a pain, I'm sure, having to disconnect it from the house system. And then, of course, make sure that everything's safe and buttoned up with those extra power leads now not connected. It would, it might be certainly might be a selling feature if you could transfer it over. Definitely.
Yeah, I do plan on leaving it here and selling it with the house and getting a whole new setup in our new place.
Yeah. So the selling point of the new one, though, is that if you did sell your home to a curmudgeon Grinch, I don't want those ugly things. Elon looked at my wife funny. Something. It's just a one wire pull, and then you can replace the meter color, and it's back to normal. If you look at California's new net metering plus, that might be where more of these power companies go to. So you'll need a power wall or competitor with your solar to be able to continue what you've been enjoying using the power company as your battery.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Well, I think with that, we're going to wrap up. I'd like to remind everyone that National Drive Electric Week has one more weekend left. So if you haven't visited a event near you, visit the page. Just Google National Drive Electric Week and check out what's around you. But with that said, Casey, what do you got for shout-outs?
All right. So coming up on Friday, you can catch us here at the Tesla Life for the Tesla Life Express, episode 1 for the week. And then on Sunday, come back here to youtube.com/KCGreen, and right about 1:10 Eastern, sometime a little later, you can catch us for Let's Chat with Casey and Friends. So last week it was me and Brian from Future and we had a grand old time. And then on Monday, again, back here, Tesla Life Express, and on Wednesday, catch you live again. And we look forward to seeing you.
Very good. Very good. Patrick, what do you got?
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I blog about my future free from fossil fuels.
Exactly. Exactly. Any article that's shown up recently? I know that you're authoring a few of them on a regular basis.
Yes. So the latest one I have up is one that came up in this show where you asked about solar panel degradation. So that one's been up for a couple weeks now. I've got another one coming, which actually plays into the whole VPP thing that we were just talking about, where with the rise of the internet, we didn't have to get all of our content from central sources. People became producers and consumers and could share directly. And I think that that's slowly happening for energy. And so I started exploring the idea of the Internet of Energy, I called it.
Yeah, very cool.
Texas is uniquely ready to capture that just because of their desire to skirt regulations. And that's why they have their own grid.
Right.
But because they have their own grid, they're set up
severe lack of rules.
Right. Yes. That's turned deadly in some cases.
It has.
Numerous times.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. Press that subscribe button. That helps us out. Doesn't cost you a dime, and it's not going to get any cheaper. So you may as well subscribe now. And with that, check us out at the Tesla Life on Twitter or X, and certainly also on Facebook, the Tesla Life #1. We'll catch you next week, and together we'll find out what's happening in the Tesla Life.
Stay positive, test negative.